The state agency that disciplines doctors has more investigators and increased powers than ever. But is that enough? Last night, the CBS 2 investigators introduced us to Dr. Spiros Stamalos and showed us the surgical secrets that led to a long history of malpractice cases against him. Tonight, Pam looks at why he's still practicing medicine.
The alleged surgical mishaps of Dr. Spiros Stamalos have been chronicled in more than 30 lawsuits. Does that indicate you're a dangerous doctor?
What are you talking about?
We're talking about at least a dozen cases in which damages totaling more than $5 million have been paid to former patients of Dr. Stamalos. By law, nearly all these cases should have been reported to the state for possible disciplinary action. Why are you still practicing medicine in the face of all of these cases?
Because I like medicine, my patients love me, and I'm doing a good job.
Our investigation found that he's still in practice because the Illinois Department of Professional Regulation, known as DPR, has failed to discipline him, even though the lawsuits contain valuable information about alleged malpractice. Evidence in the case of Pamela Padilla showed that while operating on her herniated disc, Stamalos sliced open her small bowel.
The contents of her small bowel spilled out into her abdomen. It resulted in a massive infection that almost caused septic shock and her death.
Padilla charged that Stamalos failed to respond to her worsening condition, and on the third day, another doctor intervened to repair the damage.
I couldn't breathe anymore, and all I could do was drag my finger across my stomach and say, "Cut me or let me die."
During a videotaped deposition, Dr. Stamalos said his surgical instrument could not have sliced Padilla's bowel.
It's a mystery. The whole thing is a mystery.
The only thing that's a mystery is that he's still practicing.
After Padilla's lawsuit was settled 5 years ago for $425,000, DPR requested records in the case.
And we, of course, complied with that, and then we never heard from him again.
A DPR spokeswoman said that over the years, a number of Stamalos' malpractice cases have been reviewed, but declined to comment on specifics. Generally, she said, the state has to prove gross negligence to suspend a doctor's license for one case. That's much more difficult to prove than the standard for malpractice lawsuits. But, she said, under a new state law, DPR can look at malpractice complaints going back 10 years to build a case based on patterns of bad practices. While the state sorts all that out, doctors like Stamalos can continue to practice medicine. Antonio and Diane?
It's gross negligence is tough to prove, but when you've got multiple cases of maybe lesser negligence, you should be able to build a case.
They need to do that, but they can do that with building a number of cases. The State Medical Society, of course, has lobbied extensively against lowering that gross negligence standard.
Thanks, Pam.